Hi folks, this is Miss Clarkson coming to you today to talk to you about the final process of telling the story of your personal project. At this point in the process, you should have completed your final product or have met your final goal and have evidence of having done that. You should have tracked what you did along the way in a process journal in a collection of assignments that were submitted on Canvas in first semester. As a reminder, all projects have 3 parts. The first of those is the process journal. That is a broad term for the evidence of your process, including all of the records you kept on your own and the checkpoints that you submitted on Canvas in first semester. You should have a final product or evidence of having met your final goal. What this looks like will depend on what your goal is. It may be pictures, documentation, a video, or a physical object. And finally, you will need to compile a final reflection. You will take the 4 written reflections that were submitted on Canvas during first semester and revise those, add to them, integrate your research, and submit them as your final report. The final report is organized based on the assessment criteria. The 4 written reflections that you should have already completed on Canvas in first semester form the rough draft of this reflection. This is your opportunity to tell the story of your project. In order for us to know what you did, you have to tell us. If you refer to the student handbook, pages 24 to 27, you'll find the assessment criteria and how the project's graded. The project can't be graded without the reflection. In order for us to assess whether you met your goal or didn't, we need to know what you did. So the reflection contains a variety of pieces. There are templates for how to format this, both on Canvas and on the personal project website. We'll discuss how to access those later. You should begin with a title page or title slide, and then a table of contents outlining the different areas of your reflection. If you're using a written format, the reflection is limited to 1,500 to 3,500 words. If you're doing a verbal report, which must be recorded, you're limited to 13 to 15 spoken minutes or 13 to 15 minutes of film. If you're doing a multimedia report, for example, a narrated slides PowerPoint, like this one, you are limited to 1,500 to 3,500 words, both spoken and written on the slides. You should choose the reporting format that best suits your abilities and interests, as well as the nature of your project. That may mean if you have a visual project, conducting a video. It may mean a narrated slides presentation similar to this one, when it may mean an oral report. You can use a screencasting app like Screencastify, which creates a video file that can be edited directly and shared as a Google Drive link. If you do a video, oral, or multimedia report, you'll need to record yourself and upload the video or audio file on Canvas. Alternately, if you have multiple files, you may need to add a Google Doc with links to Google Drive files for the different parts of your video or audio report. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the different parts of the report. In the introduction, what you're going to do is talk about why you were initially interested in the project, what you knew about the topic of the project, and what you hope to achieve. On each of the following slides, you'll find instructions on what to say and where to find it. Much of the information that you need to talk about in this reflection, you already have. It just may not all be in one document. So please refer back to this PowerPoint to help remind you as you're working on the project report. In the investigating section of your report, you should define your goal, your prior learning, and show how you've demonstrated research skills. Research in the personal project is broadly defined. It can include both videos, interviews, any information that you found from another source over the course of the project. But it's important that you cite that. You can show evidence of having met those research skills by using the source evaluations that you completed on Canvas. What sources did you consult, and what did you learn from them? The second portion of the report is focused on the planning stage. This aligns with reflection number 2 on Canvas. In this section, you should explain how you developed the criteria for your product or outcome. You should document the sources of information that you found and demonstrate self-management skills. Self-management skills include things like time management and organization. These are important skills in the course of the project, and you need to make sure that you demonstrated those throughout the process. In the taking action section of your report, you should show how you created your product in response to your goal and global context. If you need reminders about this information, you can find your success criteria that you set for yourself on page 22 of the student handbook. In this area, you need to demonstrate thinking skills and communication and social skills. I want you to think here about how you used communication skills throughout the project and what you learned from others. Finally, you should reflect on the quality of your project. Do you think you were successful at meeting your goal? What was it that stood in your way if you perhaps weren't capable of doing everything that you thought you would be able to do? You need to reflect on how completing your project has extended your knowledge of your topic and your global context, and reflect on yourself as an IB learner throughout the process. In addition to the 4 sections of your report, you'll need a works cited page to document the sources that are cited in your report. This should include all sources of information that are cited or referenced in the report itself. You should use correct MLA documentation. Please, please, please use Noodle Tools, EasyBib, or the built-in tools in Google Docs in order to format your works cited page. If you have additional sources that you consulted, but that aren't cited in your report, for example, in another slides presentation that's part of your final product, or in a research paper, you can include those things as part of a bibliography as an appendix. We'll talk in our next lesson about what an appendix is and how to use it to supplement the information in your report. So what's next? Now you should begin compiling your project into the report template using the instructions and checklists on Canvas. The next video lesson, shorter than this one, shows you how to create appendices where you will add your project and put everything together. On March 19th, you'll be collecting and turning in your project on Canvas, and you'll be assisted by your supervisor in doing that. You should be prepared to submit all 3 components, the project, the process journal, and the report on this date. As a first step, I would recommend that you pull up your reflections on Canvas along with one of the 2 templates, either docs or slides. You should pull up all 4 reflections. These form the rough draft of your report. If you intend to do an oral or multimedia report, it's essential that you plan before recording. Create an outline for yourself and use the checklist that's provided to you in this Canvas module to assist you in planning your response. That's all for today. In the next lesson, we'll learn about how to use appendices to supplement your report and how to submit things on Canvas for your final project.